This is Save State. I'll never forget about PT. It's just one of those cerebral games that is etched into my mind. Hell, I still remember the first time playing it. My friends and I downloaded it shortly after the live reveal at Gamescom 2014 in a Skype call. I remember the fetus, the house, the peephole, all that good stuff. But there is one moment that straddled the line between
"Nope, I'm out. Goodbye. See you later."
and
"Holy shit, whoever made this is a fucking genius!"
the spine-tingling, blood-curdling moment that Lisa grabs you for the first time. You see, I experienced this differently than most people. My Skype friends got to jump on the game before I could because they downloaded it before I did, and as such I got to hear their reactions to things before my own, which you would think would ruin the experience, but when I tell you how terrifying it was to hear their primal screams as I was getting told to look behind you, only to then 15 seconds later meet the same fate as them, wasn't just terrifying, but brilliant. If there was one moment that could describe the experience of PT, that's it. Honestly, PT excels at throwing you in situations without knowing anything. The setting, the monster, hell, even the player character, the studio, and the controls are a mystery to you. Every corner, every puzzle, every successful loop instills this sense of fear due to the unknown, this sense of something being off. It's a uniquely Japanese feeling that not many Western games can pin down. At this point, I know this game like the back of my depression, but turning on PT just to even capture footage for this video had me freeze up when I realized I was in the middle of a save I knew nothing about, and boy, let me tell you how fast I backed out of that save, made a fresh one, not out of necessity, but out of fear. It's all feeding into this hopelessness, and nothing captures that right off the bat like your first loop. Opening that door only to be greeted with the same hallway is something else. That feeling of inescapable claustrophobia washed over me like a damn tidal wave. Just like the first standoff with Lisa in the hallway made me want to shit bricks, the fetus in the sink made me want to question my life, and the soundscape made my skin crawl. As a matter of fact, let's talk about that for a second. The sound of PT fits well into its package. The music, the sound, the voice work, it's all just so engrossing. I swear I can't tell you how many times a normal ass sound gave me the heebie-jeebies, and it's the exact type of sound my young brain would have cooked up when I was in a room alone in the dark by myself getting ready to go to sleep before promptly hauling ass to my parents' room and making sure I didn't piss myself on the way. And does it ever fit with its story? One of fathers killing their families due to seemingly supernatural forces. The topic of familicide being juxtaposed with this motif of possession and control is genuinely depressing and horrifying, and not only does this game engross you with that, but it makes you feel, as a player, you're going down that exact path of control. The number 204863 is one of the many lines spouted through the radio that's going to be drilled into your head from time to time, but one of its most important, as it's the same one that I'll dub the radio father hears constantly, the same one he yells and chants, and just like him, it will claw at your brain as you try to frantically escape this game. As I kept hearing the radio father's story of how he killed his kids and his wife, as well as a seemingly different father slitting the throat of a woman in a peephole scene, I was just all in. It honestly felt like nothing could stop me from completing this, like I was in some horror bliss and it was perfect. Until that last puzzle. And to understand why, I guess it's as good a time as any to spoil the true nature of PT. You see, PT was a playable teaser, get it?
Did you like it?
Created by Hideo Kojima to promote his interpretation of Silent Hills. Hey, it had a little S on it, how cute. Which would have included the talents of Norman Reedus of Walking Dead fame and Guillermo del Toro, the man known for making a fanfic about a lady wanting to bang a fish. Hell, even later developments revealed that Junji Ito, another horror icon, was slated to help out along with possibly some old Team Silent members? Yeah, this was insane as it set the internet ablaze. Thank God someone can finally restore the glory to this mishandled franchise. But here was the thing though, getting to that initial reveal wasn't supposed to be easy. Kojima knew his fanbase well, being of MGS fame. He also knew that he had to work insanely hard to ensure no one knew his team had a hand in this. This included making a fake name for his studio, something he did for MGS5 that ended up blowing up in his face, but he took it a step further. He partnered with Sony to reveal it at Gamescom, he changed the visual style to not fit with Silent Hill at all, and he lowered the graphics to give it an indie feel. But if I were being honest, PT's graphics to this day are to be rivaled, so... And to top it all off, he made the last puzzle of the game balls hard to complete. It was a puzzle that required the cooperation through its use of an initial secret puzzle that had you looking at the dustiest of corners and game menus? What the hell, Kojima? To find scraps of paper to complete a broken picture, each one giving you hints on how to complete it in different languages, for you to take those clues once deciphered to the last loop and complete them to a T. Walking 10 steps, hearing baby laughs, shouting some sort of J name into the mic.
Jareth. 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 Jareth.
We're all in this and more. Outside of Kojima wanting this to obviously take weeks and require people from around the world to solve this enigma, I feel like it was supposed to feed into the very obsessive and controlling nature this game wanted you to be gripped by. And despite someone getting the ending the same day and spoiling the big surprise, she nor anyone else knew how to crack this thing. So Kojima got what he wanted anyway. It worked. Maybe too well.
It's Silent Hill!
It took the internet a few days to get the correct answer, though even the exact specifics on what J name to call out and how to complete it without a microphone are debated to this day. With it came conspiracy theories. There were still some things that weren't a part of the final puzzle that had yet to be explained that were in the last loop, like going into the loop door backwards turned on a light to the next loop, how sometimes your flashlight would turn different colors randomly after you reset a loop, and when you went through a loop the last 50 times, Lisa would kill you on the 51st, which, yeah, was a nice little nod to Kojima's age, but at the time, it was some truly pants-shitting shit. But, put a link down below for your... Okay, he already put his Twitch, cool. Oh, Lisa! Lisa, why you do that? Lisa, please! Oh. I guess that was the 51st hallway. At this point, I was combing the internet for anything that could uncover the truth about these mysteries. Countless YouTube videos, forum threads, and Twitter posts were abound. I was glued, and I was hooked. Which wasn't made any better by the fact that, during this time, an increasingly fiery battle that spilled into the public eye between Kojima and Konami happened. One that ended with Kojima's name being scrubbed from not only the MGS5 box art, but also Silent Hill's site, MGS5 being shipped out way sooner than it was supposed to, and Koji Pro being shuttered, Silent Hills being cancelled and scrubbed from the PlayStation Store, along with Kojima going on holiday break from Konami, which they really should get back to him about because he's still on that break and has made a new studio with the same name that they just scrubbed and is working on a new game with a completely different studio and Sony. Anyways, with Punished Kojima not really being able to speak on the project anymore, nor do I think he even wanted to after that ordeal, it sent everyone into overdrive, seeing as we weren't going to get any answers anytime soon. Keep in mind this was months after the initial reveal, so to say I was neck deep would be an understatement. Then, one day, it hit me. While watching a channel I actually found through this mad dash, The Great Debate, they're great, you should subscribe to them. They just made like a real big like 3-part series on Silent Hill, and it's great. Watch them. One of the hosts, Bob's vid, said something that honestly put my brain into a tailspin.
Have the main story of PT seems to be a lesson against obsession.
Mm-hmm.
And you're having all of these people, in order to solve the damn game, they have to become obsessed with it to a certain degree. I know I did.
But that's what's creepy
Exactly.
about it. It's doing the based on real life events thing by making you as obsessed with this number and this hallway as the murderer must have been or something. Or Norman Reedus must be by going through loops and being like, what is this shit?
Yup. The very theme of control and obsession, a theme that I've been saying throughout this video, smacked the back of my head like my mom when she found out I didn't get the chicken out of the freezer for dinner. It was honestly such a powerful moment that I had to stop the video then and there. It was the very thing I needed to get me out of that strange spell. At this point, PT has been data mined, showing off all of its sounds, assets, and even models that were in the PT concept trailer, which makes me believe that the initial reveal trailer was also made in Engine, which is fucking impressive if true. So I guess you're wondering, was this a big waste of time? Would I do it again knowing how much time I essentially wasted and how this teaser would never be followed up by what could have been one of the best revivals to a franchise up until God of War a few years later? Bitch, yes! Like, what the fuck?